Right everybody, I'm back now. This is, I'm going to say, into the third day. It's a Friday. A lot of you know I don't like working Fridays whether I'm at my own house or not. It's a bit of a joke, but I've been busy this morning. Been to see quite a number of customers, some of you call them clients, to drum up some more work in the future. But I'm back at my own house now. I'm finishing off the afternoon with carrying on painting the kitchen. Now I'm actually all coated up on everything as a first final coat. So the Stiffkey Blue is on. The Stiffkey Blue is on and everything has been coated up with it. Now I've been using the, I've lost it, 10mm rollers. I've been using the 10mm roller for the undercoat, the Farrow and Ball undercoat, and I've used the 10mm roller to get the first coat on of the Stiffkey Blue. Now I'll be honest, dark colours, particularly like this, and in eggshell finishes, satin finishes, I do find them to be a bit of a coloured glaze. Farrow and Ball is no exception. Now I'll just get one of these off the rack. I've got my drying rack there. I've had to bring it in because yesterday we had a bit of rain, typical. Now I don't know whether you can see this. This is something I did yesterday and this is what I've done today. So it's coated up. If you can see that sheen level for modern eggshell, I like that. That's 40%. Right, let's look at the back. Now I don't know whether you can see that well. I'm trying to stand under a light. You can see somewhere you can see those marks there where knives have caught it. I'm not worried about that. It's on the back of the drawer. But there you go. Can you see down here? It's like a mottled effect. There you go. It looks mottled. I can put it in layman's terms. I can actually see through that Stiffkey Blue to be a bit of the grey below it. There you go. You can see it there. Now, face on, it doesn't look too bad. Don't forget this only had one coat. But what I want to do, as I said to you on days gone by, which is not that long ago on this video, I would be applying the undercoat with the 10mm. I'd do the first coat of finish with a 10mm and then I would drop onto a 5mm because that's the recommended way of doing roller work, particularly with two fussy blokes. Do a 10mm for lost my voice, excuse me. Some of you are like that. 10mm for your undercoats and then finish off with your top coats with a 5mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the day out today doing all my base units under here, some kickboards, the stuff that I did yesterday, and I'm going to go and try the 5mm. Now if the 5mm is pants and I don't feel I'm putting enough paint on, I'll drop back down to a brand new 10mm and start again. But I'm hoping that mottled see-through look of this dark Stiffkey Blue goes with a second coat. Now I've got, can you see there, I've got loads of paint in that 2.5. So if I do need a final third coat, and some of you are screaming at me, you don't want to be third coating, I know, but we are using Farrow and Ball and I'm doing a Farrow and Ball painted kitchen. If I do need a third coat, I have the time, I will give it a third coat, but I would probably only be giving it, fingers crossed, on the face. I'm hoping that the backs won't really matter because they'll have covered all right, but if I can see through that paint like I am doing on that first one, if you see there, it'll have a third because I'm not letting my kitchen go with a paint that looks a little bit see-through-y. Now, please comment below, what paint would you have used in water-based that gives you a 40% sheen that you knew or know would cover for 2 coats over that dark grey? Now, I would say, really, Farrow and Ball need to tint their undercoats more to the colour of what their finishes are, because if I hadn't got a grey underneath, that would be really disguised. And on that tip of font of all knowledge, wisdom, I'm going to say, let me crack on. I will see you tomorrow when I've coated everything up, and hopefully I will be doing a summing up of what this kitchen's been like to apply Farrow and Ball paints from the undercoat primer in dark tones to 2 coats of Stiffkey Blue over the top. and keep your fingers crossed for me. When you come back, you see it covering nicely. But this isn't a sponsored video. I'm not paid by anybody to say it's fantastic paint. I do love Farrow and Ball products, but I'm not blind to know that some paints are a bit of a nightmare to apply, and dark colours, dark blues, dark reds, dark greens can all be a little bit touch and go when you're looking at getting the finish. I call it a coloured glaze, but I know somebody's going to say to me, don't they do an undercoat in red with Farrow and Ball? Yeah, I think they do now. There we have it, everybody. I said I'd be back once I'd actually finished the final coats. Now, seconds ago, minutes ago, whenever you watched it, I said that first coat of Stiffkey Blue, however you pronounce it, didn't have the opacity, the coverage that I liked, and a second coat wasn't fantastic, so I did give it 3. Thankfully, I'd got plenty of paint, and now, as I can tell, I am just below half of the modern Eggshell. So I've got enough paint and I've done it. Now everything has been properly cleaned down. It's been properly undercoated with the dark tones Farrow and Ball undercoat, and then it's had the 3 coats. It didn't go for 2, it's gone for 3. But what I've done, the insides, you see that? The insides and the outsides, I've had the same. Every time I came to the flat side, I also brought in the edge as well. So in effect, that's had extra. The only time I didn't do these side edges, top, bottom, all the way around, is on that final coat, i.e. the 3rd coat of the modern Eggshell, because I didn't want to be overloading the edges. But all in all, it's gone on lovely. It's gone on really well using that. It dried really well, and application wise I had no problems. Now, you know what I used? I finished off with the 5mm nap of the 2 Fussy Blokes after applying the undercoat and the first top coat with the 10mm. So they're really good products. Have plenty by you, because you might say they go a little bit flat. But all in all, this job's gone really well. It's at my house. It's been a full-time working kitchen. We've had to eat out because we couldn't be preparing food, but that doesn't bother me. We still had to get into the fridge. We've still had to do the washing up there. My wife's still working. She's needed to get to the kettle. That's why I've not sprayed it on this job. But I am over the moon with the overall effect. Can you see what we've got there? Bottom units, top units, all in Stiffkey Blue, however you're pronouncing it. And I must say, it feels solid, i.e. hard. Now, this is what I said in the early days of the video. Modern Eggshell is the new name for the floor paint that Farrow and Ball used to do, that was a 40% sheen level, and it was really good. It's what they used on display cabinets and things like that, and they've now moved it over to actually being the mainstream modern Eggshell. And I have to say, what a finish. I do like it. Top tip Tuesday. I'm going to give you a top tip Tuesday. Once you've got that coat on with the roller, don't go back to it and add another coat. I.e. if you think you've missed something, leave it. Make sure you put plenty on, lay it off. What I was doing was going with the length, and then literally with the horizontal, I laid each panel off. But if you think you've missed something, or if it gets marked in between coats, don't touch it in, because it does show. Blue is a bit of a notorious colour for showing pigmentation, and if I use the word flocculation, those of you know, those that are, say a proper decorator, those that are a decorator that knows the word flocculation, that can appear if you get it just slightly wrong. I had it on one panel that I had to wait and redo it. Recoat time. I was finding, because I got the drying rack, which is just here with the door open, they were going off within half an hour. I was probably recoating when it needed it after about 5.5 hours. Today, I have managed to get all the inside and outside of the doors done with 2 coats. So 2 coats on the inside, 2 coats on the outside to get it finished. The actual carcasses, the actual main cupboards, I managed to get a coat on yesterday and just needed a finish coat, i.e. as of today. Now you're going to say to me, how long have I been on this? I started on Wednesday cleaning down and a bit of undercoating, i.e. primer on the Peninsula unit. I'll point to it down there with the aqua bin. I was Thursday all day, so call them 8-hour days. Friday, I didn't really have much time on it on Friday, probably two or 3 hours, if that. That was yesterday. Now today, I've probably had another 8 hours on it. Started about 9, 9:15. I worked through till mid-afternoon, about 2:30. I'd got everything coated up. And then what I wanted to do was come back and get all the handles on, which I did. So I popped out for a few hours and came back, well, just late afternoon. Got all the handles on, got the doors in place. I've still got a little bit of leveling up to do on the doors, if I can try and adjust them. I think it's just really problems of a cheap kitchen that they've sagged a little bit. I have leveled up some of the doors by adjusting it on the hinge, but there are a few that I don't seem to, I can't make much head and tail with it. They are going where they're going. But all in all, that's gone really well. I've just got to add the little, you know, the little rubber tabs that go on the back of the doors to stop them banging when the soft close brings them to the door. But I think for a hand painted kitchen by a professional decorator that's only been, let's call it 4 days. Shall we call it 3 days? Wednesday, Thursday, bit on Friday, and today. Let's call it 3.5 days. What would you charge? What should you be charging for painting a kitchen, i.e. kitchen units like this, if you've been 3.5 days on it, and round it up to 4? What would you charge? Give us some comments below. Now, if you're on 120 quid a day, would you charge 120 quid a day painting, or would you charge a little bit more because you're doing something that's specialist painting a kitchen? Would you go up to 130 quid a day, 140 plus your materials? I don't know, you tell me. But all in all, really pleased. I'm just going to take you off camera, show you this Peninsula base unit and how pleased I am with that. You can see I'm in the last stages of actually clearing up. I'll leave the Cortex sheets down because the next video will be actually doing the woodwork, ceiling and the walls. That'll be another video. But if I can cast the light from the main patio door, French door, can you see that sheen level? Yeah, 40% sheen. Really impressed with that. Let's go back over to these, if we can see here. That's a 40% sheen level. Really pleased. We can go up there. Excuse all the mess. Excuse the mess of the cards for Easter. Well, I think we've still got some Mother's Day cards and Christmas cards there. Got that. And then these corner units there. As I say, the soft close are just on. I've just got to get the little sticky tabs. Now, any questions, just ask. We're down there. And I will say that is a game changer when you're sanding and rubbing down. That has been worth every single penny, if you see the mess there. So all in all, really pleased. So thanks for listening to me on this one. It's been a bit of a long one, but I've actually explained the whole process of painting a kitchen by hand. And the big thing about it is, like the thumbnail, you don't need a sprayer. Our spray is redundant. when it comes to painting kitchens. Of course they're not, but there's always a time and a place. Please watch the videos at the end.